Hey guys, this is Paul from Smart Easy DIY. Welcome to episode 20 in my garage build series. Today I'm going to be putting on the sub fascia on the overhangs, on the gable ends here and on the eaves. It's a pretty straightforward process, so let's get started.
Alright guys, so I got everything nailed off here, all the way around up through here, just like I did the other end, all the hangers and stuff. So now I decided what I want for overhangs, so this is how I'm going to do this. I measured from this, once I got this all straightened up, I measured 19 inches and squared up to there because I'm going to snap a line and do that. The reason I'm going 19 inches is because there's no sheeting on here yet and I want 20 inches when I'm done. So I'm figuring for this ½ inch being in here, it would be 18.5 once the sheeting is on. So then I want 20 when I'm all done. So that would be 18.5 plus that 1.5 inch 2x6 that goes on the outside there. So that's what I'm doing. Measuring out 19. These overhangs are pretty nice. Nice little ladder to walk on. So you can see I already did this side right here. Measured out, snapped a line, and then I squared down. So I'm just going to line up my chalk line. Got it right there. Snapped the line. Beauty. Besides this upper one, which I don't have room to cut on the upper side because of this. But I want to mark these all on the upper side. Mark these all the way down. You could do this off a ladder if you're not comfortable being up on the roof, but sometimes if it's rounded over like that with some wane, some bark on there, then you can go to the underside. Now you can either go bottom up or top down. This side's left-handed, so it's not quite as nice. Okay, so I got those all cut off, nice and straight. I don't know if you can really see that, but okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about how I do overhangs. It was kind of dark last night when I was doing that one over there, but I wanted to show you a little bit more. So after I cut these off, usually what I've been doing is starting at the bottom. So because of this bottom coming across, I have to let it stick down about 4 feet and just let it run wild and then trim it off over here. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to finish, because I already did this side, so this is a finisher. I cut an 8/12 on it, but if it wasn't a finisher, what I've been doing, I grab like a 16 foot or whatever I'm using. I'm kind of using whatever I can now. It's the end of the project. But 2/12s would work perfect for this. But I come up kind of in the middle and shoot that. And then I just kind of work it with a clamp. So you have to have a clamp sometimes to get these back and forth. And so then I get that end done, get the ends done. But if you kind of go in the middle of whatever board you're doing, hang out over and shoot it or screw it, works really good. So that's what I do. Then run the finisher up there. So now I kind of go in the middle of the piece, which this is kind of an awkward size actually. It's 80.5. But for this one, I want to line the peaks up and then kind of flush the top up. So I might put a tack nail in, but it's a little tricky because I want to line the peaks up here and here. So I think I'm just going to shoot one nail in right here. Since this is a short piece, it holds itself. Yeah, the peaks are lining up pretty sweet. Now I can come down here and just clamp it at an angle a little bit if it needs to come up. Kind of have to check top and bottom because these things vary in width a little bit. So I move down 8 feet about to the center, because when I bring that 16 up, I'm going to do the center because it's pretty balanced. Then go up and tack the top and just work my way down. Now, if this wasn't already spaced based on that one, if I was putting this one on first, I would make a mark at 8 foot so I know right where to splice this one. These are all 16-inch centers, so I know if I put it on 8 foot, then it'll work out good. But yeah, then you just want to come up and flush this up. If the middle's good and the top's good, now you can at least do this as you go back down. This one's flush. So now this one, I actually have to clamp it down. So to get a straight plane, to know where to cut that tail off over there, I am going to come up here, come back about 10 or 12 feet or so. So I'm going to hook my chalk line on here and then go over there. This is just to get a straight line. I usually place it just where I think it's going to touch, make a mark. So now that I got that chalk line, now I can mess around. I don't know if you can see how move till it just touches and then double check it. If you really wanted to get it exact, you could run a string line the whole way down, but I think this is pretty much the length of a board, and if I go with this, that's going to give me a really good idea of how things are running. Yeah, so my original mark is what I'm going to go with. So now what you got to do is mark this, whatever your roof pitch is, which mine's an 8/12 pitch. It's a little bit left-handed here. And then I have to take just this little tip off as well right here, because when this 2x6 sits where it needs to go, it's got a little tip right there. Not much, but just a little. I just know that from doing the other side. Now the next step is get my chalk line put away here and get that cut off. Now when I hang this board, I let this run wild too, and because this has a little flex to it, so I want to make sure this is straight when it comes down, so I let it run wild and cut this off later too. I find cutting it off later seems to work the best. Okay, so I got a 16-footer here, and I mark it every 2 foot on center so I know where to place it because my tails are 2 foot on center. Now what you want to do, I'll just demonstrate really quick before I do this. See how you can plane it with a speed square coming down the roof pitch? You want the outside tip right here to hit with the roof pitch. So for example, like this, you want this to come down and this outside to be the same plane as this. So hopefully that makes sense. As you can see, it's definitely easier if you have 2 people. Actually, this isn't too bad if I support it at 8 foot. So you can see how I want to plane it right there, and then I want to center it. So just to double check it, make sure it didn't move. There. Okay, so I'm going to do this end now. I'm just going to tack it for now. And you can see it's hanging out there. Now I can go do that end over there. I don't know if you can see down through there. Probably not the greatest. I already was up here and made some marks, but so you pick it up till it planes okay. And then I actually sighted down through here, and it looks like it needs to come up another 1/16 or so. So I made an extra mark there. But then also it's important to sight up down through here. See how this tail can flex still because these aren't nailed? It turned out nice and straight, but you can flex it if you need to back or forth. And then this way, this is looking beautiful as far as straight goes. So now I'm going to square down through here. Now I can put this little piece in. Alright, so I'm over on the other side. I thought I'd show you doing a finisher up at the peak and cutting it off. So it's a similar process. I just made sure to cut it long. Okay, so to get straight across the peak here, what I like to do, I like to go back, 4 or 5 trusses. Then you can just hook your line into a peak like that that's open. I try to keep it pretty close to the top. Now, if you pull it tight, you can line it up with the peaks. See that? You can get a general consensus, as long as it's not hanging up over there. So now I'm going to mark right where that is. So that's kind of how I do it. I look down this way, see what this plane is doing, and I also check with the other peaks. And then you can kind of split the difference. So then wherever you decide to do that, then I just do an 8/12 down. Okay, so I got an 8/12 marked on there. Now, not that it's awkward or anything, but now I got to cut this off. You just have to eat a little sawdust doing it.
Alright, well I think I must have got enough sawdust because that is the last of the footage for my subfascia to go through. So be on the lookout for the next video, guys, which is going to be covering starting the roof sheeting. I'm getting my first row set up here with a nice straight string line. So be on the lookout for that. If you guys enjoy this content, let me know. I love hearing from you guys down in the comments section. And also please subscribe to my channel. If you do enjoy this content, that would help me out a lot. I appreciate the support. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.